Some stories are told in daylight, polished, paraded, remembered. But others live in the shadows, lost beneath headlines, buried in concrete and steel. That's where I come in. I am the keeper of such stories, the ones whispered when the world isn't listening, the ones history tries to forget, but memory refuses to let go. If you're here, you're ready. Lean in and listen closely, because on a cold March morning, before the sun could rise, Baltimore lost a bridge, and 6 souls vanished with it. In the still hours before dawn, March 26, 2024, a container ship nearly 1,000 feet long lost power in the heart of the Patapsco River. Seconds later, the Francis Scott Key Bridge was gone. They built it in an era of bold lines and iron ambition. 1977. The Francis Scott Key Bridge arched across Baltimore's harbor like a spine of steel. At an impressive 1.5 miles long, it acted as an artery of American commerce. 35,000 people crossed it each day. Mothers, truckers, commuters, dreamers. It wasn't just a bridge. It promised safety for those who traveled across. It was solid, familiar, trusted. But even promises can rust. Beneath its painted beams was fragility. No reinforced guard, no protective fenders, just the illusion of invincibility. That night, the Dolly, a Singapore-flagged giant, cast off from the Port of Baltimore bound for Sri Lanka, guided by an experienced harbor pilot. Her hull stacked with cargo like a floating fortress. But ships, like cities, can go silent. And just after 1:24 a.m., that's exactly what happened. At 1:24, there was total power failure. No lights, no rudder, no control. The Dolly drifted forward, blind and unstoppable. The harbor pilot saw what was coming and made the call. "Mayday! Mayday!" A plea shouted into the dark. 2 minutes. That's all the time there was. Police sprang into action. They blocked the roads and stopped cars from crossing the Francis Scott Key Bridge. Dozens of lives were spared by that radio cry. Unfortunately, one construction crew never heard it. They were road workers, husbands, fathers, and sons patching potholes in the dead of night. The men continued working, unaware of the looming danger drifting towards them. There was no warning, no chance to run, just the slow approach of something too large to stop. At 1:29 a.m., the Dolly struck a critical pier. The bridge didn't crack, it didn't shudder. It folded. Steel crumpled and concrete sheared. It fell in pieces to the river below. In less than 10 seconds, the Francis Scott Key Bridge ceased to exist. By sunrise, the skyline had changed. Where once there was steel, now only emptiness. Recovery teams found 2 bodies that first day. The others were trapped beneath 40 feet of steel. Just like that, 6 men were gone, and above, a city held its breath. The investigation began immediately. It was soon found that this wasn't the first time this had occurred. The dolly had lost power once before. More concerning was the fact there were no tugboats assisting it out of port, a decision some would later question. But the bridge, it was never meant to withstand a hit like this. There was no protection, and upgrades hadn't been made in decades. For its neglect, Baltimore paid the price. Their names were Miguel, Jose, Carlos, Dorleon, Maynor, and Alejandro. They were men who worked with their hands, men who gave to a country that barely knew them, men whose lives ended. Some were buried in Maryland, others flown home to Guatemala. Their names did not dominate the headlines, but in the quiet corners of this tragedy, they are everything. What fell that morning was not just steel. It was the trust that we are ever truly safe on the things we build. The belief that bridges don't vanish until one did. A new bridge will rise, that much is certain. $1 billion has been promised. Steel will be forged. Supports will be stronger, but time cannot be rebuilt, and lives do not get second chances. Baltimore's port slowed, its economy choked, and the city, like the rest of us, began asking the question, how could this happen here? This story is now yours. Let it not gather dust. Let it not fade. Remember Miguel, Jose, Carlos, Dorleon, Maynor, Alejandro. Their names deserve more than silence. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more content like this.